Castile, Toledo, Venice, Burgos, Asturias, Somedays, and that is Portugal, and so and some of this one is stone. Right. Hello, hi, and welcome for another daily dose of ASMR, triggers and tingles. The kingdom of Castile and León, in medieval ages became one of the most powerful and culturally rich realms of medieval Europe. It was formed through dynastic unions and military ambitions. This kingdom was a driving force behind Reconquista. The center longing for to reclaim Iberian lands from Muslim rule. It was a land of warrior kings, cunning queens, philosopher, poets, artists, and multi-religious cities where Latin, Arabic, Hebrew, and early Spanish mingled in a vibrant scriptoria. Well, this map is from 1316. We're gonna talk about stats and facts of Castile and León from 11th century until 15th century. The Kingdom of León, established in 910, León, 910 AD. The Kingdom of Castile rose in 1035, 1035, the unified crown. So unification took place in 1230 under the Ferdinand III. The big population, so the population at its peak was between 2 and 4 millions. So population 2 to 4 million people estimated. It worries so much because due to the record limitation. Right. Well, the capitals, one of the capitals was the city of Burgos, and after the unification was Toledo, Burgos, and after Toledo. Alright. Major language spoken? Well, more than one. Did you know that the official language was Latin? Castilian, Mozo-Arabic, and Leonese and Galicians, and Galician. In some region. Well, we're talking about Galician Portuguese. The religion of the kingdom, Roman Catholic, was dominant, with large Jewish and Muslim minorities. So, Catholic. With Jewish and Muslim minorities in cities like Toledo and Cordoba. In terms of military power, they had heavy cavalry, knights, crossbowmen, and siege warfare specialists. It played a key role in the Reconquista against Muslim-ruled Andalus and the free of Granada from the Muslims. And now, historical facts. King Ferdinand III united Castile and León into a single powerful kingdom in 1230, becoming one of the dominant Christian powers in Iberian Peninsula. Castile and León play a central role in Reconquista and retaking territory from the Moors. Especially under the Ferdinand III and Alfonso X. Another key king was Alfonso X. It was nicknamed the Wise, a polymath king who fostered translations of Arabic and Latin text into Castilian, helping to formalize the Spanish language. Toledo School of Translators. Well, Toledo, a secret powerhouse of medieval knowledge transfer. Christian, Muslim, and Jewish scholars work together in Toledo to translate Greek, Arabic, and Latin works, often patronized by the monarchy. So, even before the Spanish Inquisitions in 1478, Jewish converted to Christianity secretly practiced Judaism. Well, these often held highly political position in Castile and León. The crown of Castile and León frequently used marriages and espionage to keep track of enemies or rival Christian kingdoms like Aragon and Navarre and Granada. Well, sometimes funding internal dissent. Some monarchs, including Alfonso VIII, privately protected certain Jewish family in exchange for their financial and administrative service, even when the public opinion was hostile towards them. So, Monasteries like San Isidoro de León were not just spiritual centers, they were used for planning military campaigns against Moors and hiding even political prisoners. Some sources suggest that the King Alfonso IX of Leon funneled funds through temple chapters to avoid scrutiny. Coded scripting and hidden text. Often orders were occasionally issued not as native language in legal courts, even if the population didn't understand Castilian. Medieval Game of Thrones. Well, let's say medieval Game of Thrones. Well, befighting among royal siblings was constant. For example, Urraca of Leon, Queen Regnant, ruled in her own right and waged war against her ex-husband, King Alfonso I of Aragon, literally. Some noblemen, like Urraca and Berenguel of Castile, commanded armies and negotiated treaties. One was the famous knight El Cid. Well, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, a hero of Castile, who fought both Muslim and Christians on the Muslim and Christian side. His nickname means the Lord, El Cid, from Arabic Al-Said, and he switched allegiances based on who paid more, so he was more like a mercenary. Medieval tax break. Medieval tax break. Well, settlers who agreed to move into frontier towns during the Reconquista were often granted fueros, charters that gave them tax exemptions and unique rights, like running businesses, local businesses like taverns and small farms, and even bearing arms. And they were exempted from tax paying. Alfonso X, the Wise, fancied himself as a poet and musician. He wrote religious songs to the Virgin Mary in Galician Portuguese, but his courtiers often joked about his off-key singing and was considered an untalented artist. Fake saints and miracle wars. sometimes would invent saints or relics to attract pilgrims and boost local economies. One town claimed a dot of Saint James caused a fountain to spring up. Another claimed it could cure good another disease, and these were some pretext to attract more pilgrims and boost the local income. Quite clever, right? This one is very interesting. Language mix up in court. A famous legal mix involved a mistranslation of the word field and tax. Well, resulting in a village being taxed for land they didn't own for 20 years. The first medieval hackers, forgeries in monasteries. Monks of the León and Castile sometimes forged royal documents to increase their landholdings and exemption. These were surprisingly sophisticated. Some even had fake wax seals. So this was an early type of counterfeit, right? The bishops with bottle scores. Clerics were supposed to be peaceful, right? But in Castile and León, the bishops often led armies. Bishops led armies. Well, and personally fought against enemies. One of them was named the Sword of God and Love and was blind in one eye from a battle. He had his armor specially tailored to fit his overrobes and insisted on blessing his sword before the combat. Very tough and mighty bishops, right, and monks. Well, the kingdom of Castile and León did more than redraw the map of medieval Spain. It shaped the very soul of a nation, a further Spain, from dusty battlefields to candlelit scriptoria, from royal courts to bustling marketplaces. This early kingdom left behind a legacy of conquest culture and contradictions. Its kings and queens laid the foundation of modern Spain, while its poets, clerics, and rebels etched their voices into history. This was the kingdom of Castile and León. So, I hope you enjoyed this video as well as the others, and thank you very much for visiting me today. Until next time, I wish you all the best. Bye bye. Sorry,